Hello, everyone. Today's topic is how gratitude can change your life, what Buddha taught. Gratitude can change your life might sound like an exaggeration to some, but it really can, to a surprising extent. It can be as life-changing, in fact, as winning the lottery. From the moment you change your mindset to a more grateful one, you will begin to see its positive effects. This is what Buddhism teaches. So then, why is this so, and how can we cultivate gratitude? Let us explore what it is that Buddhism has to say on this. Today we will go through the following points. 1. Why gratitude changes your life. 2. Change your mindset and your life will change too. 3. How to cultivate gratitude. The first of the 6 paramitas, or 6 good deeds, that Sakyamuni Buddha taught would bring us happiness is giving. If you plant seeds of happiness, he said, then flowers of happiness will bloom, and giving is a seed of happiness, so give as much as you can. Among the acts of giving are the 7 types of non-material giving, which even people who have no money or possessions can do. One of these is giving heartfelt thanks, or showing your gratitude to others. If we make the effort to act with gratitude towards, say, our family, our friends, our colleagues, our bosses, any of the people we have around us, we can gain happiness from doing so. So we don't need to worry about not having any money or possessions we can give to others. If we want to give, we can simply be mindful about saying a heartfelt thank you to others whenever they do something kind for us. By making this a regular part of our behavior, we will brighten others' hearts and brighten any home or workplace also. Showing such kindness will make others feel grateful, which will then inspire them to do acts of kindness for you too. A space where everyone acts with gratitude towards each other is a happy one indeed. Buddhism teaches that benefiting others means benefiting the self. Make others happy, and you yourself will become happy. It creates a positive cycle, where as a result of your act of giving, others want to give to you, which in turn makes you want to give to them again, and so on and so forth. If you go the opposite way and just complain all the time, that will bring people down and they won't want to be around you. Make others unhappy, and you yourself will become unhappy. If you give them nothing but misery, after all, they're not going to want to do anything nice for you. Buddhism teaches that just as benefiting others means benefiting the self, harming others means harming the self. Here's an example. A woman who is unhappy about how unhelpful her husband is shouts at him for failing to do some particular thing. Being shouted at, however, just puts the husband on the defensive, and he starts deflecting blame onto her. In the end, all that's accomplished is a shouting match and many hard feelings. If you and your partner act with gratitude and appreciation towards each other, things won't turn out this way. You're much more likely to naturally want to help each other out in whatever way you can, and even if something isn't quite right, or you have some disagreement, it will be much easier to work together calmly to resolve the situation. That being said, if things have already soured between the two of you, acting with gratitude towards each other now is certainly easier said than done. In fact, many cases of soured relationships can probably be put down to a failure of one or both partners to properly appreciate each other. This applies not only to romantic relationships, but to all other kinds of relationships as well. That's certainly something to keep in mind. The Buddhist law of cause and effect tells us that results come about when a cause and conditions come together. The cause of our own results is our own deeds, and the conditions are our surroundings or environment. It is our own deeds, then, combined with the conditions we come across, that decide whether our lives will be happy or unhappy. For an easy example of how causes work with conditions to bring about results, Let us look at how we end up with rice. Rice is a result, and its cause is rice seeds. Rice seeds won't just grow anywhere, however. They need sunlight, soil, water, nutrients, and other such things. These are conditions. Only if both the right cause and the right conditions are present will rice plants grow. In the same way, it is the combination of a cause, our own deeds, with conditions that create our fate. It's because of this that a change of mindset, though it might seem like hardly anything at all, can actually change our life, even if there is no change to our environment or conditions. You see, Buddhism teaches that we do deeds with body, mouth, and mind, and that of these, it is the deeds of the mind that are the most important. So then, what are we doing with our minds? Are we directing gratitude towards other people? Or are we brimming with anger and resentment towards them? Which one of these we choose to do will have an enormous impact on how our lives go. One old folktale goes like this. Two young travelers, Mr. A and Mr. B, came to live in a town surrounded by walls. One day, Mr. A met an old man who lived there and asked him what the townspeople were like. The old man responded with a question, "What were the people like in the place you came from?" Mr. A replied, "Oh, they were such wonderful, supportive people. I feel fortunate to have known them." The old man said, "The people in this town are just the same." Sometime later, Mr. B met the same old man and also asked him what the townspeople were like. Once again, the old man responded with a question, "What were the people like in the place you came from?" Mr. B replied, "Oh, they were such horrid people. Just a bunch of backstabbers, gossips, and brutes." The old man said, "The people in this town are just the same." After about a month of living there, Mr. A and Mr. B happened to meet each other one day and both agreed the old man was right. Both Mr. A and Mr. B experienced the same condition or circumstances, but they each perceived it differently due to their own unique mindsets. The way they thought was the cause of how things turned out for them. This shows just how drastically the deeds of the mind can change the results we receive, even if there is no change to our circumstances. Look upon others with scorn and you'll bring that negativity back upon yourself. Look upon others with gratitude, however, and you'll bring that positivity back upon yourself. So then, how can we cultivate gratitude? Buddhism teaches that we need to have a good awareness of impermanence and our true nature. Impermanence is the fact that everything is subject to constant change. Nothing in this world lasts forever. If we are mindful of the fact that everything is impermanent, we will naturally cultivate gratitude. Why? Because then we will realize how important it is to cherish things while they are still here. The reason why we take things for granted is that we don't understand impermanence. We boredly assume we'll wake up in the morning just as limber as yesterday, that our job will still be there for us to slog through, and that the same cheerful voice as usual will welcome us back home. But who can actually guarantee any of these things? We might wake up severely ill or paralyzed or not wake up at all. We might suddenly get fired or made redundant, or we might lose that special person in a tragic and unexpected accident. Even the peace that we thought would last forever might suddenly be torn away from us when another country declares war on our own. And who knows if we'll escape with our lives intact from a situation like that. If we still have our health, our lives, a regular job, loved ones, and peace, then we are incredibly fortunate, and that is not something we can take for granted. We never know when we might lose any of these things. So it is highly important to realize this and cherish them while we still have them. Everything, after all, is just for now. And so the opposite of taking things for granted is gratitude. If we recognize that all the good things we have right now are momentary blessings, things that so many other people do not have and which we only have for the time being, we will be unable to help but be grateful for them. In this way, a keen awareness of impermanence naturally gives rise to feelings of gratitude. Now, on to the awareness of our own true nature. As mentioned previously, Buddhism teaches that it is the deeds of the mind that are most important, even more so than the deeds of the body and mouth. What kind of thoughts, then, are going on in our minds? If we take an honest look within, we will see things that are less than savory. It is taught that we are constantly brimming with all kinds of desires, including the desire for money, the desire for praise, the desire to take things easy, and so on and so forth. This might not seem like such a bad thing, but if we watch our own thoughts closely, we will notice that our desires can lead our thoughts into some dreadfully dark places. Raise your hand if you have never, ever thought such a thing as, I wish he'd just die. Then I could have some peace. Or I hope she screws this up because then I can take all the glory. Or when my old man finally kicks the bucket, I'm gonna inherit so much money. No one? No one at all? Well, of course not. As much as we may not want to admit it, everyone has thoughts like these from time to time. Of course, we wouldn't usually act on these kinds of thoughts since we know that would be wrong, or at least we know that under our present conditions. What if, though, a different set of conditions came along? Can we really say we wouldn't ever act on these thoughts under any circumstances at all? As Master Shinran said after having had his true self revealed to him in full, under the right conditions, i.e. Shinran, would do anything. We might be outwardly behaving properly right now, but once the right conditions come along, there is no telling what horrifying physical actions these thoughts might produce. For example, it is generally expected that a newborn baby will be the apple of its mother's eye. However, parenting is not a glamorous or easy task, and a new mother might find herself driven half mad as she's kept awake by her baby's constant crying. In a desperate moment, a thought might flash across her mind, if I strangle it, I might get some sleep. While many mothers would be filled with horror and shame at such a thought and so refuse to act on it, the strain of giving birth, and then putting one's own needs on hold to cater to a needy infant can take such a serious psychological toll that some mothers actually do end up going through with it, even if they hadn't shown any outward signs of violence or callousness in the past. All it takes for an otherwise kind and gentle person to commit a horrifying murder is the right conditions. If we're aware of this and we consider our own situation, then we will be unable to help but feel grateful that nothing has happened in our lives thus far to push us into doing anything so awful. We have been fortunate enough to be in circumstances that have protected us and so prevented the dark thoughts within us from manifesting outwardly, and that is truly something to be thankful for. And so in this way, Buddhism teaches having an awareness of impermanence and of your true nature will naturally lead you to cultivate gratitude within. To sum up, we have seen that showing gratitude changes our lives by creating positive cycles. Benefiting others by acting with gratitude towards them benefits the self too. While we might not always have control over our surroundings, our mindset determines how we experience the situation. A grateful mindset makes the best of any situation. If we know that nothing lasts forever, and that the only reason why we haven't ended up doing terrible things is that the right conditions have not yet come along, we will be unable to help but be grateful for our present good fortune. Hopefully now you'll have a good idea of why gratitude is so important and how you can cultivate it. How about you start by saying thank you to your nearest and dearest? This channel explores various aspects of the Buddhist teachings. If you're interested in learning more, then why don't you hit that subscribe button so you can be notified whenever we release a new video? Thank you for watching.